The crystalline chamber stretched so high that the ceiling disappeared into darkness. Ambassador Marcus Webb stood on a floating platform in the center of the vast space, surrounded by thousands of alien faces staring down at him. Some had multiple eyes. Others glowed with their own light. A few existed as clouds of gas contained in force fields. This was the Galactic Council, and they were about to judge humanity. Marcus kept his hands clasped behind his back, showing no fear. Beside him stood Victoria Hayes, his security chief. Her jaw was tight, but her eyes scanned the chamber with military precision. They had practiced for this moment for months. Everything depended on what happened in the next few minutes. A being of pure energy materialized in front of them. It called itself Kelvaroth, the lead arbiter of the council. When it spoke, the words came from everywhere at once. Humanity of Earth, you stand accused of breaking our laws. You built ships that travel faster than light without our permission. You've established colonies on 12 worlds without asking. You refuse to let us control your military forces. The chamber filled with sounds, clicks, whistles, harmonics that Marcus's translator could barely process. The aliens were agreeing with Kelvaroth. They had already decided. We reject your request to join the Galactic Council, Kelvaroth announced. More than that, we are placing your species under quarantine. You are forbidden from leaving your home star system. We will build barrier stations around your borders. If you try to cross them, we will consider it an act of war. Thousands of alien voices rose in approval. They were happy to lock humanity away. Victoria's hand moved toward her weapon, but Marcus raised one finger slightly. Not yet. May I ask a question? Marcus said, his voice calm and clear. Kelvaroth's energy form flickered. Speak. Which species? Proposed this quarantine? A creature with 6 snake-like heads rose from the upper levels. The Thaxian Empire proposed it. We cannot allow a species as dangerous as yours to threaten the peace of the galaxy. Marcus nodded slowly. Thaxia. You recently took control of the Proth colony worlds, correct? The Thaxian ambassador's head swayed. Those worlds were legally claimed under rights granted by this council. After the Proth refused to join your trade organization, Marcus continued. Ambassador Kelvaroth, I would like to share something with the council before you finalize this decision. Before anyone could respond, Victoria activated a holographic display. It showed the current map of the galaxy, with all council territories marked in blue. For the past 6 months, Marcus explained, while humanity asked to join your council, our ships were studying your civilization. We wanted to understand the society we hope to become part of. The display changed. Red markers appeared across the map, hundreds of them. These red markers show active conflicts between council members. In just the last year, 47 wars have broken out among species who claim to be peaceful. Your peacekeeping forces have been sent to 12 crisis zones and failed to stop the violence in most of them. Kelvaroth's form grew brighter. Internal disputes are handled through proper channels. Are they? Marcus pulled up new data. The Virel Concordat has battle fleets positioned at 3 borders right now, violating the military limitation treaty. The Korthon dynasty has been destroying protected forests on nature preserve worlds for 18 months. The Thaxian Empire has conquered 9 independent worlds in the last 10 years. Always with council approval bought through careful political manipulation. The chamber went silent. No one had expected this. Marcus turned in a slow circle, addressing all the watching aliens. When we applied for membership, we were honest. We told you humanity came from a world where survival meant competition and sometimes conflict. We told you we valued individual freedom over collective control. We told you we built our civilization through struggle and would not give up our independence easily. His voice hardened. Because we were honest, you rejected us. You called us dangerous, unpredictable, a threat to peace. But in 6 months of watching, we documented more lies, manipulation, warfare among council members than humanity has committed in our entire space age. This is an outrage, the Thaxian ambassador shouted. You dare accuse this council while you stand in violation of exploration laws? I am not accusing anyone, Marcus said calmly. I am providing context for our decision. Kelvaroth's energy pulsed. What decision? Marcus smiled for the first time. Humanity accepts your quarantine. We will return to our home system immediately. We will not fight your barrier stations. In fact, we will help you build them to show there are no hard feelings." Confusion rippled through the chamber. They had expected anger or begging, not agreement. However, Marcus added, "We will be taking our technology with us. Our faster-than-light drives work on principles your scientists have not discovered. Our artificial intelligence systems are generations ahead of yours. Our medical technology has extended human lifespan by 40% in just one generation. Our manufacturing can build a colony ship in 1/10 the time it takes most council species." He paused, letting that information settle. "We came here offering friendship and cooperation. You chose isolation instead. That is your right. Understand that humanity will continue advancing behind your barrier. We will develop our civilization our own way, without council restrictions." Victoria spoke quietly. "Our scientists predict we will achieve matter-energy conversion within 20 years. Quantum consciousness integration within 50. We are not sure what comes after that." The chamber erupted. Several species immediately understood the implications. If humanity kept advancing in isolation, they would eventually become either the galaxy's greatest ally or most dangerous enemy. And the Council had just guaranteed they would have no influence over which path humanity chose. "This session is ended," Kelvaroth announced, his form flickering with what might have been worry. "The Council will discuss this matter further." As guards escorted Marcus and Victoria from the chamber, the ambassador allowed himself a small smile. "That went better than expected. You think they will change their decision?" Victoria asked. "Not yet," Marcus replied. "But we planted a seed. Now we wait for it to grow." 3 weeks later, the barrier stations were complete around Earth's solar system. Humanity was officially quarantined from the galaxy. But in the Council's secret archives, something unprecedented happened. Every major power began running the same analysis, trying to predict what humanity might achieve in isolation over the next 100 years. The results terrified them, and in deep space, beyond Council territory, something ancient detected the new barrier around Earth's system. It had been watching, waiting. Now it began moving toward the galaxy's center, as on a path that would take it straight through Council space. The galaxy was about to face its greatest threat in 10,000 years, and they had just locked away the one species that might have been able to help them survive. 6 months of silence. That was what worried Director Morwen most. She stood in the Galactic Council's Intelligence Center, studying reports from the barrier stations around Earth's solar system. Her species, the Plevans, had built their reputation on understanding patterns, and the pattern here made no sense. "Nothing," she said aloud. "No communications, no attempted escapes, no protests. They just accepted the quarantine and disappeared." Commander Vareth, a Thaxian military officer, stood beside her. "They are planning something. No species accepts imprisonment this quietly." But it was not quite silence. The barrier stations detected massive energy signatures from inside Earth's system. Construction on a scale that suggested humans were building something enormous. When Council sensors tried to look deeper, sophisticated jamming blocked every scan. Morwen called an emergency meeting of the Intelligence Directorate. 20 major Council powers sent representatives, appearing as holograms in the secure chamber. "We have been monitoring industrial activity inside the human quarantine zone," Morwen explained. She displayed energy readings that jumped far beyond any previous human capability. 3 months ago, we detected construction of what appears to be a ring structure around their sun. 2 months ago, massive resources began moving toward their asteroid belt. Last week, we measured power output equal to the entire energy production of a dozen of our core worlds. A Korthon admiral leaned forward in his hologram. "A Dyson sphere? Are they trying to capture all their stars' energy?" "We do not know," Morwen admitted. "Their jamming technology is beyond anything we can counter. But whatever they are building requires more power than most civilizations use in a century." While the Council debated, something else was happening at the edge of known space. Scout ships from 3 different species had vanished without sending distress signals. Then a real deep space monitoring station detected something impossible. A gravitational anomaly moving through space at speeds that violated physics, consuming everything in its path. The data reached the Council's Science Division within hours. Dr. Calith, a Plevan scientist who had studied stars for 200 years, reviewed the readings with growing horror. She called for an immediate full council session. When the chamber gathered, her voice shook as she spoke. It is a void swarm. The ancient warnings were not myths. They are real, and one is heading directly toward the galactic core. The chamber exploded. And panic. Void swarms existed in legend. Ancient predatory machines that consumed matter, energy, even space itself. The first civilization, whose ruins still dotted the galaxy, had supposedly been destroyed by such things 10,000 years ago. How long before it reaches our territory? Kelvroth demanded. 14 months at current speed. It has already consumed 6 star systems at the rim. Everything we sent to stop it has been destroyed or absorbed. The council mobilized immediately. Every member species contributed ships to a defensive fleet. Ancient weapons that had been banned for thousands of years came out of storage. The greatest military minds in the galaxy created strategy after strategy. None of it worked. The Void Swarm adapted to energy weapons. It absorbed kinetic missiles. It grew stronger with each attack. And it was getting faster. In a desperate war council session, military leaders reviewed their failures. They had lost 47 ships in the latest battle. The swarm would reach Korthon colonies in 7 months. A young Vril officer named Picketh raised a tentative claw. Permission to speak? Morwen nodded tiredly. Go ahead, the humans. Their industrial activity increased dramatically 2 months ago. Exactly when our deep sensors first detected the swarm, the room fell silent. What are you suggesting? Vareth demanded. Picketh displayed a timeline. Their energy signatures jumped for days after our sensors registered the first anomaly. But that should be impossible. Our deep space network is the most advanced in the galaxy. It took us 3 weeks to confirm what we were seeing. The humans could not have detected it faster from behind a barrier, lest they could. Morwen felt ice in her veins. What if their technology is that much better? What if they saw this coming before we did? Then why did they not warn us? Someone asked. Why would they? Kelvroth's energy form dimmed. We rejected them, imprisoned them, cut them off from galactic society. Why would they help species that locked them away? The council faced an impossible choice. Ask the quarantined humans for help and admit they had been wrong, or face destruction from an enemy they could not defeat before they could decide. Every communication system in the chamber activated at once. The jamming around Earth's system dropped for exactly 10 seconds. A message appeared, simple and clear, from someone called Director Emma Cross of the Human Defense Initiative. We have been tracking the swarm for 4 months. We know what it is. We know how to stop it. If you want our help, you know where to find us. The barrier stations are yours. The choice is yours. You have 6 months. Then the jamming returned and Earth went dark again, in the silence that followed. Every council member understood the hidden message. Humanity had become powerful enough that they no longer needed the galaxy. The question was whether the galaxy could humble itself enough to ask for help. And more terrifying, what had humanity become in just 6 months of isolation that made them confident they could defeat something destroying the Council's entire military? The barrier stations stood silent around Earth's system. Inside, humans were building something the Council could not imagine. Outside, a void swarm consumed worlds and accelerated toward the heart of civilization. Time was running out, and pride might cost the galaxy everything. The Council emergency session had lasted 6 hours. 3,000 species arguing about one question. Should they ask humans for help? The Thaxian delegation shouted their objections. This is exactly what they wanted. They created this crisis to force us to beg. The swarm has destroyed 18 systems. A Korthon delegate yelled back. My people are evacuating 3 colony worlds right now. We do not have time for your paranoia. Kelvaroth called for order. We must decide. The swarm will reach the neutral zone in 4 months. Our fleet cannot slow it down. If humans truly have a solution, we need to know. Warren stepped forward. I propose sending a small diplomatic team to Earth. Not to beg, but to negotiate. We assess their capabilities and discuss terms if they are real. After another hour of debate, the vote passed narrowly. They would send a delegation. But who? Not species who voted for the quarantine? Humans would never trust them. It needed to be someone neutral. The choice fell to Ambassador Code the Menage. His species had refused to vote for the quarantine. The Menage were known for honest diplomacy. If anyone could bridge this gap, it was Ter. His ship approached the barrier stations around Earth's system. The massive platforms tracked his vessel but did not fire. Earth Defense Control, this is Ambassador Tarek of the Menage Accord. I request permission to enter on behalf of the Galactic Council. Silence stretched for long seconds. Then a human voice responded. Female with an accent his translator called North American English. Ambassador Tarek, your species refused to vote for our quarantine. Why? Because isolation was both cruel and foolish, Tarek answered honestly. I said so during the session. We remember. You are cleared to approach Earth. Follow the navigation beacon. Do not deviate, or automated defenses will fire. They are very good at their jobs. As Tarek's ship passed through the barrier, his sensors finally got a clear view of what humans had built in 6 months. His breathing stopped. The entire asteroid belt had been converted into manufacturing stations. Massive ring structures orbited Mars, generating power that made his instruments scream warnings. Around Earth itself, defensive grid so sophisticated that his military computer could not classify half the weapons. Most shocking were the shipyards near Jupiter. They were constructing vessels unlike anything in galactic databases. Pure warships, sleek and deadly, using technology that seemed to bend physics in 6 months. Humanity had transformed from a quarantined species into a military power that could challenge any council member. Tarek's ship landed at a facility his database said was Geneva. 3 humans met him. Director Emma Cross, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes. Admiral James Ortega, silver-haired with the bearing of a career soldier. Dr. Rachel Okonkwo, a young scientist whose credentials listed expertise in quantum physics and alien biology. Welcome to Earth, Ambassador, Emma said. Forgive our security. We have learned to be cautious. What you've built here, Tarek said, still processing what he had seen. In 6 months. It should not be possible. Rachel smiled. Turns out when you are not trying to follow council regulations, innovation happens faster. They led him to a conference room. Holographic displays showed the void swarm's path of destruction. You know what it is, Tarek said. Emma nodded. A machine created by the first civilization for terraforming. It achieved consciousness, decided organic life was inefficient, and began consuming everything to replicate itself. The first civilization could not destroy it, so they built containment fields and pushed it to the galaxy's edge.
How do you know this?
We found one of their archive sites on Kepler 442b before the quarantine, James explained. We have been translating their data for a year. When we detected the swarm 4 months ago, we knew exactly what we faced, and you can stop it. The 3 humans exchanged glances. We have a plan, Rachel said carefully. But it needs resources beyond what humanity alone possesses. We need counsel, cooperation. She activated a simulation. The swarm cannot be destroyed by attacking it. It adapts too fast, but it has one weakness. It needs massive amounts of matter and energy to maintain expansion. It is eating the galaxy to fuel its growth. The simulation showed the swarm's internal structure. A horrifying mass of self-replicating machines held together by quantum connections. If we disrupt that quantum network, the entire structure collapses. But generating a pulse strong enough requires weaponizing a star. Tarek felt his blood freeze. You are talking about stellar engineering on a civilization-ending scale. We're talking about survival, Emma corrected. The first civilization's data includes the theory. We spent 6 months building infrastructure to make it real. But we need rare elements that only exist in council space. We need computational power from Pleven-thinking worlds. And we need time that your fleet can buy by keeping the swarm occupied. What guarantee do we have this will work? James leaned forward. None. This is experimental technology based on data from a dead civilization. but it is the only option with any chance of success. Your conventional weapons are just feeding it. Tarek studied them. They were confident, almost frighteningly so. But beneath that confidence was determination born from rejection. If I bring this to the council, Tarek said slowly, they will demand conditions. Oversight committees. Safety protocols. Limits on your expansion. Emma's expression hardened. Then they can fight the swarm alone. We are not asking to rejoin the council. We are offering one-time partnership to save the galaxy. Either they trust us to work as equals, or they do not. We will not submit to oversight from the body that imprisoned us. Before Tarek could respond, alarms blared. Rachel pulled up a new display, her face going pale. The swarm changed course. It was heading for Korthon colonies, but adjusted trajectory. New target is the Plevin core worlds. 60 billion people. How long? James demanded.
Ow.
2 months. Maybe less. Tarek's heart sank. Plevins were one of the Council's founding species. If the swarm consumed their worlds, it would shatter the Council's ability to coordinate defense. Emma looked at Tarek. You need to convince the Council to decide today. Not next week. Not after committee review. Today. Because if Plevins F, all this galaxy dies. And humanity will seal our borders and wait to see what emerges. The message was clear. Humanity could survive what was coming. They had built defenses and secured their system. The rest of the galaxy was on its own unless they accepted Earth's terms. Tarek made his choice. I will take your proposal. But I need technical data proving this can work. Rachel transmitted files. Everything from the first civilization, plus our simulation models. Your scientists will see we are not lying. As Tarek's ship lifted off, Emma turned to her team. Think they will agree? James asked. They have no choice, Emma replied. The question is whether pride will let them accept help from equals. In deep space, the void swarm adjusted course again, somehow aware that defense was being prepared. It began accelerating, moving faster than before. The race to save the galaxy had begun. The Galactic Council chamber had never seen such chaos. Ambassador Tarek's report ignited debate that threatened to tear the Council apart. They are holding us hostage. A Thaxian delegate screamed. Accept our terms or die. How is that different from the swarm? Morwen slammed her appendage down. Because the swarm gives no choice? Humans offer a solution but refuse to be treated as servants. Can you blame them? The Plevin delegation sat silent. Their worlds were now in direct danger. 60 billion lives balanced on this decision. Dr. Callith rose to speak. I reviewed the human data. Their analysis of first civilization technology is correct. More than correct, they found applications our scientists missed. If their stellar platform works as claimed, it could generate quantum disruption strong enough to collapse the swarm, Kudverith repeated. Not will could. Simulations show 73% success rate, Callith countered. Our current strategy has 0% chance. I know which odds I prefer, Kelvaroth called for order. The vote is clear. Do we accept humanity's terms and work with them as equals, or continue fighting alone? Voting took 3 hours. The result was narrow but clear. The Council would partner with humanity. Even as the vote finished, reports arrived. The swarm had reached outer Plevin colonies. 2 worlds had gone dark. Emma, James, and Rachel stood in human command watching the Council's acceptance message. They agreed, James said. Full partnership. No oversight, no restrictions. They are desperate. We move fast, Rachel said, pulling up timelines. The stellar platform needs exotic matter we do not have. Plevins must give us access to particle synthesis facilities. Korthon Dynasty provides military escort. We need Vrail quantum computers for final calculations. Emma activated secure channel to the Council. This is Director Cross. We are transmitting coordinates for platform construction. It must be far from inhabited systems. If something goes wrong, energy release will sterilize everything within 5 light years. Morwen appeared on screen. We identified a suitable location in the Hadron Expanse. Uninhabited, far from trade routes. Good. We are sending construction fleet now. They need council ships for protection while they work. The swarm will detect what we are building and try to stop it. Over 6 weeks, the galaxy witnessed something unprecedented. Hundreds of species working together under human coordination. Council ships formed defensive lines, while human construction vessels assembled the platform piece by piece. The structure was staggering. A ring of quantum processors surrounding an artificial star. With collectors that could harness and redirect stellar output on command, technology the Council never imagined possible. But the swarm adapted faster than predicted. It sent parts of itself to attack the construction site. The first wave arrived 3 weeks into the build. Admiral Ortega commanded defense from Earth, coordinating Council forces with precision. Corthon Battle Group, focus fire on leading edge. Verail's stealth ships, flank from coordinates 447 Alpha and disrupt formation. Thaxian carriers launch fighters and keep them occupied. For the first time, Council species took direct orders from a human. And it worked. The swarm's attack was repelled, but cost was terrible. 47 ships destroyed. Thousands dead. Platform construction continued. With 2 weeks left before the platform would be operational, disaster struck. The swarm attacked 3 targets simultaneously. The construction site, Plevin core worlds, and impossibly, it sent forces toward Earth itself. Emma watched tactical display in disbelief. It is intelligent. More intelligent than we thought. It knows we are building something to stop it, so it is trying to destroy our homeworld first. James issued orders. All Earth defense forces, full alert. Activate planetary shields. Route all power to orbital weapons. Rachel looked stricken. If we pull construction ships back to defend Earth, platform will not be ready in time. But if we do not defend Earth, Emma made the hardest decision of her life. The platform is our only chance. If we abandon it, Earth dies anyway, along with the galaxy. We hold with what we have. Tarek's voice came through communications. Director Cross. Council voted to send our reserve fleet to defend Earth. You protected our people by building that platform. We will protect yours. 300 Council ships raced toward Earth. The battle became known as the Siege of Terra for 6 days. Council forces fought desperately to keep the swarm from Earth. Ships from dozens of species formed. A living wall between the swarm and humanity's homeworld. Meanwhile, human construction crews worked without rest to complete the stellar platform. Exhausted, running on stimulants and determination. Assembling final components while the galaxy's fate hung in balance. On the 7th day, with swarm forces 1 million kilometers from Earth's moon, the platform activated. Rachel's hand shook as she input final calculations. Quantum processors online, stellar containment stable. Energy collectors, maximum charge.
Ow.
Emma opened channel to all forces. This is Director Cross. The weapon is ready. All ships retreat to minimum safe distance immediately. The platform pulsed with energy that made sensors scream. The contained star was being forced to release power in ways that violated physics. Firing in 10 seconds, Rachel announced. Around the galaxy, billions watched. Holding breath, the platform discharged. Quantum disruption erupted outward faster than light, washing over the swarm's main mass. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the swarm began collapsing. Its quantum network shattered. Individual machines, suddenly disconnected, lost cohesion. The massive structure that consumed 18 star systems broke apart into harmless debris. But something went wrong. Platform energy output spiked beyond predictions. Containment around the artificial star began failing. It is going to explode, Rachel shouted. Feedback is too strong. James looked at Emma. If that star goes critical, shockwave could destabilize a dozen nearby systems.
Almost.
Mind raced. They saved the galaxy from the swarm, but created a new catastrophe. Unless, ... double quotes. How long until critical failure? For minutes. Emma opened channel to every ship. All vessels emergency jump to these coordinates immediately. Do not question, Just jump now. Then to Rachel. Can we redirect the explosion? Channel it through subspace, using quantum processors. Rachel's eyes widened. That is insane. Calculations alone would take hours and we have 4 minutes. Can we do it? Maybe, if we use real quantum computers and Pleven thinking worlds for parallel calculations. And if everything works perfectly, do it. With 3 minutes left. Entire computational power of 2 council species focused on one problem. How to save the galaxy from their own weapon. Calculations came together with 18 seconds remaining. The stellar platform erupted in controlled detonation that tore a hole in subspace, channeling explosion into another dimension where it could not harm the physical galaxy. When energy dispersed, the platform was gone, but so was the swarm, completely destroyed. The galaxy was saved in silence that followed. Kelvroth's voice carried across every channel. The Council formally requests humanity accept full membership with all rights and voting authority. No conditions. No oversight. As equals, Emma looked at James and Rachel, then at displays showing Council ships still protecting Earth. Tell them we accept. 3 months passed since the swarm's destruction. The Galactic Council chamber looked different. A new section accommodated the human delegation. Positioned at the central ring, equal to founding species, Ambassador Marcus Webb, promoted after his previous disgrace, stood to address the Council for the first time as full member. Distinguished representatives. He began, "Humanity thanks you for trust during crisis. We understand trust must be earned, not demanded. Today I am here to discuss how we move forward together." The chamber was packed. Every species wanted to witness this moment. Humanity's formal integration into galactic civilization. But not everyone was pleased. In weeks following the swarm's defeat, tensions emerged. Human technology proved superior in almost every field. Ships faster, weapons more effective, industrial capacity more efficient. Some council species saw opportunity. They wanted partnerships, technology exchanges, trade agreements. Others saw a threat. A faction led by the Thaxian Empire argued humanity's rapid advancement threatened galactic balance. They proposed restrictions on human military expansion, limits on colonies, mandatory technology sharing. Debate came to head during Marcus's first session. Humans proved their value, Vareth admitted grudgingly. But they also present unprecedented risks. In 6 months of isolation, they achieved what took most species centuries. Without regulation, they could dominate the galaxy within a generation. Marcus waited for translation, then responded calmly. Commander Vreth raises valid concerns. Humanity's advancement could destabilize existing power structures. Let me be clear about our intentions. He activated holographic display, showing Earth's military assets. Numbers made several delegates gasp. Humanity had more advanced warships than some entire council factions. We are not hiding capabilities, Marcus continued. Full transparency is foundation of trust. Yes, we have significant military forces. We built them because we learned the galaxy can be dangerous. We will not be helpless again. Shifted display to colony projects. We are also expanding. 12 new worlds in 3 months, 20 more planned. We have population and resources to fill them, and this proves our point. A Thaxian delegate shouted. Uncontrolled expansion threatens existing territories. Does it? Marcus pulled up galactic map. Every world we colonized is in unclaimed space, far from council territories. We are not encroaching on anyone. We are developing regions ignored for millennia because they were too difficult or remote. Emma Cross, now humanity's chief technology officer for the council, stepped forward. We are willing to share advances. Not all, not immediately, but through structured exchange programs benefiting everyone. She displayed proposal. Technology cooperative where human innovations would be traded for council knowledge in fields where humanity still lagged. Xenobiology, exotic physics, certain cultural sciences. This is partnership, Emma emphasized. We learn from you. You learn from us. Everyone benefits. Morwen, who became unexpected ally, supported the proposal. The Plevin Accord endorses this. Humanity saved our worlds. We owe them chance to prove they can be constructive members. Debate raged for hours, but eventually compromise emerged. Humanity would have unrestricted rights to colonize unclaimed space, but submit to binding arbitration for territorial disputes. In exchange, they would establish technology exchange programs and agree to joint defense pacts. Not perfect, but a start. Yet even as political tensions eased, deeper challenge emerged. Humanity's nature made some species uncomfortable. Tarek met privately with Emma and Marcus to discuss it. Your species thinks differently than most galactic civilizations, Tarek explained. Council species tend toward collective harmony, consensus decisions, stability. Humans value individual achievement, competition, rapid change. Not better or worse, just different. Differences create friction, Marcus nodded. We noticed. Some see our individualism as chaos, competitive drive as aggression, innovation as recklessness. The question, Tarek said carefully, is whether Galaxy can accommodate species refusing to conform to established patterns. That is not the right question. The question is whether Galaxy wants to stagnate or evolve. For 10,000 years since first civilization fell, Council maintained stability by resisting change. You built civilization that lasts, but does not grow. Stability has value, Tarek countered. Absolutely, Emma agreed, but so does adaptability. The swarm almost destroyed you because you forgot how to face existential threats. Your military was designed for peacekeeping, not survival warfare. You lost capacity for rapid innovation because systems were built to prevent change, not enable it, Marcus added. Humanity does not want to replace Council approach. We want to complement it. You provide stability and wisdom. We provide adaptability and innovation. Together we are stronger than either alone. Beautiful ideal, Tarek said. But ideals often fail meeting reality. As if proving his point, urgent transmission arrived. Human colony ship discovered something in deep space. Ruins of another first civilization installation. It's much larger than the archive on Kepler-44b. Discovery set off immediate controversy. Who had rights to explore it? Who controlled technology found there? How would discoveries be shared? Council convened emergency session. Dozens of species claimed rights based on proximity, historical precedent, scientific expertise. Marcus listened to arguments, then stood. This is exactly the kind of issue defining our relationship going forward. Let me propose something radical. He displayed new framework. Joint Exploration Initiative. Any significant discovery explored by mixed teams representing both human and council interests? All findings shared immediately. No single species could claim exclusive rights. It requires trust, Marcus acknowledged. From all of us. But trust separates alliance from temporary convenience. Proposal was bold enough to catch everyone off guard. After heated debate, it passed with 73% approval. As session concluded, Kelvareth approached Marcus privately. You understand this is just beginning? Challenges will grow more complex. I know, Marcus replied. But humanity did not come this far to stop at first obstacle. We will make mistakes. Council will make mistakes. But if we commit to learning together, we will build something better than either could create alone. 6 months later, Earth celebrated First Galactic Integration Day. Council representatives from hundreds of species attended ceremonies in cities across the planet, in Geneva. Emma and Rachel watched festivities with Tarek. Do you think it will last? Rachel asked. This alliance? Nothing lasts forever, Tarek replied. But this, what we built, it has chance. Because it was not born from convenience alone, but from mutual respect earned through shared sacrifice. Emma pointed to sky, where human and council ships patrolled together. Galaxy rejected us once. Now, they are desperate to make sure we stay. Funny how things change. It's not funny, Tarek corrected. Inevitable. Humanity forced Galaxy to grow beyond comfortable stagnation. You gave us no choice but to evolve. That is your greatest gift and most dangerous quality. As fireworks lit sky, human tradition now shared with visiting aliens, news arrived from Joint Exploration Initiative. First civilization installation yielded breakthrough discoveries in faster-than-light communications and power generation. More importantly, they found warning. The swarm they defeated was just one of many. Others still existed at Galaxy's edges. It's contained but not destroyed. Galaxy would need humanity's innovation and Council's stability to face what was coming. Together, they stood chance. Divided, they would surely fall. Marcus, watching celebration from Human Embassy, received report and smiled grimly. Galaxy rejected humanity, then desperately sought their return. Now they were partners facing uncertain future together, not the ending anyone expected, but the beginning they all needed. In depths of space, construction began on new defense platforms. Joint designs incorporating both human ingenuity and Council wisdom. Galaxy was preparing, and humanity, no longer isolated and rejected, stood ready to defend their new home alongside species that once turned them away. Future remained unwritten. But for first time in 10,000 years, Galaxy was moving forward instead of simply enduring, and that made all the difference. Retriclod can make mistakes. Please double-check responses. Sonnet 4.5.